Most people don't notice when something starts disappearing. At first, shelves look normal, everything seems stocked, nothing feels urgent, but then you go back a week later, and something is missing. Not everything, just a few items, the same ones, over and over. That's how it starts. Not empty shelves, just quiet gaps. And the strange part is, it's rarely random. It's usually the same types of food that begin to disappear first. Not because of panic, but because some people already know what actually matters. And they don't wait. They buy early, they buy consistently, and they focus on foods that are simple, reliable, and easy to store. So instead of reacting late, let's look at the foods that tend to disappear first, and why they go before everything else. Start with rice. It's one of the most basic foods you can buy. Cheap, filling, easy to store. It lasts a long time when kept dry, and it stretches easily. A small amount can feed more than one person. That's why it moves quickly, not because it's exciting, but because it works. Next is dried beans. These don't look appealing. They take time to cook, but they're one of the most efficient foods available, high in fiber, decent protein, very filling. They store well, and they last. People who understand food value don't ignore them, they prioritize them. Now something more immediate. Canned meats, tuna, chicken, corned beef. These don't need preparation, they're ready as soon as you open them. That convenience matters, because when people think ahead, they don't just want food, they want food that works instantly. Peanut butter disappears quickly for a reason. It's calorie dense, easy to eat, no cooking required, a few spoonfuls go a long way. It's one of those foods that feels small, but carries a lot of value. That's why it doesn't stay on shelves for long. Next is pasta. Simple, familiar, easy to store. Even though it needs cooking, people still rely on it, because it's filling, and easy to combine with other foods. It doesn't last forever on shelves when demand increases. Now look at oats. These are often overlooked, but they're one of the most flexible foods you can have. They can be cooked, or soaked and eaten cold if needed. They're filling, cheap, and easy to store in bulk. That combination makes them move faster than people expect. Canned vegetables follow closely, not because they're filling, but because they add balance. People don't want to rely on just carbs and protein. They want something that rounds things out. That's where vegetables come in. They don't disappear first, but they don't stay long either. Powdered milk is another one that quietly goes. It's not something most people use daily, but when fresh milk isn't an option, it becomes useful very quickly. It stores well and works in multiple ways. That's why people who plan ahead pick it up early. Now, something that surprises people, cooking oil. Not a food you eat on its own, but it adds calories and makes basic food more usable. Without it, everything feels incomplete. That's why it disappears faster than expected. Now step back for a second, because this pattern isn't random. These foods have something in common. They're simple, they last, and they serve a purpose. That's what makes them go first. Imagine walking into a store and seeing most things still available. Snacks, drinks, convenience, food. But the basics? Gone. That's the difference between what people want and what actually matters. Most people shop based on habit, what they like, what they recognize. But when behavior shifts, those habits change quickly. People start thinking differently. They stop buying for comfort and start buying for function. That's when shelves start to change. Not all at once, but gradually. And if you're not paying attention, you miss it. Now here's something important. It's not about copying what others buy. It's about understanding why they buy it. Because once you understand that, you don't need to react. You can plan. These foods aren't disappearing because of hype. They're disappearing because they make sense. They're efficient, reliable, and easy to store. Now think about your own shopping habits. What do you usually buy? Does it last? Does it fill you up? Would you rely on it if you had to? Because that's the real question. Not what looks good on the shelf, but what actually works when you take it home. Most people don't realize the difference until it matters. They assume everything is interchangeable, but it's not. Some foods carry you, others don't. That's why the same items disappear first. Every time. So next time you're in the store, pay attention. Not just to what's there, but what's missing, because that tells you more than anything else. And once you start noticing, you'll see the pattern clearly. The foods that quietly disappear are the ones that actually matter.